The 4 laws of discipline. What Navy SEALs know that you don't. Have you ever set a goal, told yourself this time will be different, and then 2 weeks later found yourself right back where you started? Maybe it was the gym, a new business idea, or just waking up early. You had the motivation on day 1, but by day 14, it was gone. Well, in this video, I'm going to break down 4 laws of discipline used by Navy SEALs, the most elite warriors in the world. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why motivation was never the problem in the first place. Stick around until the end, because law number 4 is the one most people skip, and it's arguably the most important one on this list. Here's the thing most people get wrong. They believe that discipline is a personality trait, something you're either born with or you're not. But that's simply not true. Discipline is a skill, and just like any skill, it can be trained, practiced, and mastered. Navy SEAL training has one of the highest dropout rates of any military program in the world, with roughly 80% of candidates quitting before they ever finish. And here's the surprising part. Most of them don't quit because of a physical injury. They quit because their mind convinced them to ring a brass bell and walk away. Navy SEALs aren't born mentally tougher than the rest of us. In fact, most SEAL candidates who fail out of training weren't lacking physical strength. They were lacking a system, a set of mental rules that carried them through moments when quitting felt like the only option. So let's get into the 4 laws that make up that system, and how you can start applying them today. Number 1, the law of the 40% rule. This concept was popularized by David Goggins, a former Navy SEAL known for completing some of the most brutal endurance challenges on the planet. The 40% rule states that when your mind tells you that you're completely exhausted and totally done, you've actually only used about 40% of your actual capacity. Your brain, in an effort to protect you from pain and discomfort, sends out a false stop signal long before your body has actually reached its limit. This is why during SEAL training, known as BUD/S, candidates are pushed through extreme physical and mental stress. Not because instructors are cruel, but because they know that quitting almost always happens in the mind, not the body. In fact, instructors have said that the human body can survive far longer without food, water, or sleep than most people believe. The real limiting factor almost always shows up in the head first. Think about the last time you wanted to stop a workout or give up on a hard task at work. Chances are you weren't actually out of energy. You were out of willingness to feel uncomfortable. The rich and successful understand this instinctively. They push through that first wave of discomfort because they know there's still 60% left in the tank. So, the next time you feel like quitting, ask yourself honestly, am I really done, or have I just hit my 40%? Goggins himself has said that most people live their entire lives operating at a fraction of their true potential, simply because they never learned to question that first stop signal. Once you start questioning it, you'll be shocked at how much more you're actually capable of. Number 2, the law of embracing the suck. Navy SEALs have a saying, and it's simple: embrace the suck. This means instead of resisting discomfort or wishing a hard situation was easier, you accept it fully and even find a strange kind of peace in it. Why does this matter for discipline? Because most people quit not because a task is objectively too hard, but because they spend all their mental energy fighting the discomfort instead of just doing the task. Picture 2 people running in the freezing rain. One spends the entire run complaining internally, wishing they were somewhere warm, resenting every step. The other simply accepts that it's cold, that it's uncomfortable, and keeps moving forward. The second person will finish the run every single time, and they'll do it with far less mental exhaustion. This is why Navy SEALs train in brutal conditions, freezing water, sleep deprivation, sand in every crevice of their gear. They're not just building physical toughness, they're teaching their minds to stop resisting discomfort. Once you stop fighting the suck and simply accept that discipline requires some level of suffering, that suffering stops draining you nearly as much. This is one of the biggest differences between people who stick to their goals and people who don't. It's not that disciplined people feel less discomfort, it's that they've stopped treating discomfort as a signal that something has gone wrong. They expect it, they welcome it, and because of that, it no longer has any power over them. Number 3, the law of extreme ownership. This law comes from Jocko Willink, a retired Navy SEAL commander who wrote an entire book on the subject. Extreme ownership means taking full responsibility for everything in your life, your results, your failures, your habits, even things that seem outside of your control. Poor discipline often hides behind excuses. I didn't have time. I was too tired. Nobody helped me. Rich, successful, and disciplined people rarely think this way. Instead, they ask, what could I have done differently? If you missed a workout, extreme ownership means admitting you didn't plan your day properly, instead of blaming your busy schedule. If a business idea failed, it means analyzing your own decisions instead of blaming the market or bad luck. This might sound harsh, but here's why it works. The moment you blame something outside yourself, you give away your power to change the outcome. But the moment you take ownership, even of things that feel unfair, you put yourself back in control. Navy SEAL teams operate under extreme pressure, and if every failure was blamed on someone else, the team would fall apart. Ownership is what keeps everyone accountable, and it's what separates people who improve over time from people who stay stuck, making the same mistakes for years. Willink often talks about the concept of the dichotomy of control, focusing your energy only on what you can actually change and letting go of everything else. When you stop wasting mental energy on blame, you free up all of that energy to actually fix the problem in front of you. And here's the part most people never realize. Taking ownership doesn't mean everything is your fault. It just means your response is always your responsibility. And that response is the one thing nobody can ever take away from you. Number 4, the law of the small win. Admiral William McRaven, a retired Navy SEAL, became famous for a commencement speech where he said that if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. At first, this sounds almost too simple to matter, but there's a real psychological reason behind it. Making your bed is a small task that requires almost no effort, yet completing it first thing in the morning gives you an immediate sense of accomplishment. That small win creates momentum, and that momentum carries into the next task and the next. Discipline isn't built through one massive act of willpower. It's built through a chain of small, consistent wins that compound over time, just like interest on money in the bank. This is why Navy SEALs place so much emphasis on structure and routine, waking up at the same time, following checklists, completing small tasks with precision. It's not about the bed itself. It's about proving to your brain every single morning that you are someone who follows through. Once your brain starts to trust that you'll do what you say you'll do, bigger and harder tasks become far less intimidating. McRaven put it simply, if you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you'll come home to a bed that's made, a reminder that tomorrow you get to start over and stack another win. So, there you have it, the 4 laws of discipline used by Navy SEALs. The 40% rule, which reminds you that you have far more left in the tank than your mind wants you to believe. Embracing the suck which teaches you to stop wasting energy resisting discomfort. Extreme ownership, which puts you back in control of your results instead of your excuses. And the law of the small win, which builds unstoppable momentum through tiny, consistent actions. None of these laws require you to be born tough, wealthy, or naturally gifted. They simply require you to apply them, starting today. Discipline was never about motivation. It was always about systems. And now you have 4 of the best systems in the world, tested and refined by some of the most elite operators on the planet. Motivation will always come and go. It rises when things are new and exciting, and it fades the moment things get hard. But a system doesn't care how you feel on any given day. It just works, quietly, consistently, in the background, until one day you look up and realize you've become the kind of person who follows through no matter what. That's really what discipline is, not some heroic burst of willpower, but a quiet promise you keep to yourself over and over until it becomes who you are. Thanks for watching, guys. If you found this video valuable, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. And I'll see you in the next one.